back to the No Score Review Show, where we have in-depth critique and nuanced discussion of some of the latest movies, video games, and television. I am your host, Nick Green, and today we are doing a quick little review on The Conjuring Last Rites, the latest film in the Conjuring Universe, and the supposed final film starring Vera Farmiga and Patrick Wilson as Ed and Lorraine Warren. It is directed by Michael Chavez, with writing and story credits by Ian B. Goldberg, Richard Nain, David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, and James Wan. And it follows the Warrens, as per usual in the titular Conjuring series of films, and in particular, their daughter Judy Warren as well. I just wanted to give my spoiler-free thoughts on the film. Just do a little solo review. I've done a few of those on the channel here, so there will be no spoilers for this review. So I guess just kind of expectations going into this film. Pretty middle to low end, I would say. I did enjoy the third Conjuring film. It kind of has grown on me on subsequent rewatches. Michael Chavez also directed that one. He actually also directed The Nun 2 and I believe The Curse of La Llorona. So I would say he's done a lot better with the Conjuring films in this universe than he has with some of the other sort of the spin-off films. I loathed the second Nun film. Not that the first one was much better, but it was, I think, probably one of my lowest ranked films of the year it came out. And yeah, I maybe it was down to like a writing thing more than anything. I didn't quite cross reference the writing team between this and The Nun 2, this being Last Rites, obviously. But I feel like maybe it's just because, I mean, James Wan is a producer on these films still. Perhaps he had a little bit more involvement in the kind of characterization of Ed and Lorraine Warren, and honestly just the cast overall, because not only are Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga the kind of heart and soul of not only this franchise but this latest film in particular. I think either the actors are getting heavily involved with the kind of characterization of these characters, or maybe because James Wan kind of spearheaded this whole universe, that he has a little bit more involvement and care input. I'm not entirely sure, but it is like a noticeable like difference in the characters that are written for these movies. Like the kind of difference between like the two Conjuring films Chavez has directed versus La Llorona and the second Nun movie. It's just like night and day, and not even just in the writing and characterization of Ed and Lorraine Warren. It's like all in the surrounding cast and supporting cast as well. I feel like there's a noticeable difference. What isn't too noticeable of a difference, though, is the kind of scare factor. Like this one honestly feels more like a family drama than a horror film. Most of the jump scares are kind of just forgettable. There's nothing super unique or compelling or creative that happens in this film. There's a couple, at least one scare that just comes off as goofy. So it's just like builds that level of tonal dissonance. And yeah, it like the scare factor of this film was pretty low. I think, at least based on my memory of the third film, The Devil Made Me Do It, I think there was a little bit more inventiveness there in the scares, and a lot like more creative set pieces. I feel like this one just doesn't feel, it almost feels like bordering on a retread of the first two films, particularly with the kind of following the family that is haunted by the demon and everything. I think I do appreciate the level of characterization with this film, but the family dynamic isn't quite as fleshed out as it has been in previous Conjuring films. We get like a hint of that with Ed and Lorraine kind of helping the family out in the smaller moments, the more intimate character moments, but nowhere near the amount that we got in the first two films. Still, though, I quite enjoyed it. Like the performances all around were quite good. There wasn't a ton of physicality, behind many of the demonic roles, I guess, that we've seen in previous entries. So there wasn't anything super noteworthy there. But I think the sort of tone matched similarly to past entries. I think I might like The Devil Made Me Do It might have a bit of an edge over this one for me, just because I really appreciated that sort of like true crime kind of evoking shows like True Detective and Mindhunter in the true crime investigative serial killer subject matter that was going on, and like the occult stuff. This one feels a lot more kind of stripped down, simple, demonic haunting and possession, which is fine. Like that's what we've seen before. But again, like it has been done better before in previous films in this universe and in other films as well. So there wasn't a ton there that stood out to me. It really is like the main reason to see this film would be Ed and Lorraine Warren, like Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson. At the end of the day, that's like is what carries that these two actors and these characters have been what carried this franchise as far as it has. I feel like, I mean, like global box office aside, with somehow The Nun making hundreds of millions, if not close to $1 billion, probably between both of its films. Anyway, um, like the critical acclaim has definitely been leaning more towards like the first two Conjuring films and these characters in particular, with films like the Annabelle movies where Ed and Lorraine Warren will pop up for like a scene or two. Those are like the standout scenes for me, and those are what really save the film from just being kind of forgettable or having the film just kind of crumble from all of the other faults with it. But yeah, I did have a decent time with it. Like I said, I think from a family drama kind of standpoint, I thought this was actually really like interesting and well done. Like you could almost take out all of the sort of horror aspects of it, and it would just be like a pretty good family drama. Some of the like character beats and stuff are like very repetitive or like familiar things we've seen before. It doesn't try to like reinvent the wheel or anything. Like they're character tropes that we've seen before and character dynamics we've seen before. But yeah, I would say a soft recommend on Last Rites. It feels like a decent send off to Ed and Lorraine Warren, but I don't know. It ranks lower in the list of horror films that we've got this year. We've had some really strong contenders for horror this year, and I think we'll probably be getting at least a few more in the last few months of 2025. So yeah, I can't see Last Rites being one that sticks out in my mind. It'll end up being a more forgettable one. I might try and pick it up on Blu-ray eventually if it's like under $10 or something, just to kind of round out the sort of character arc for Ed and Lorraine Warren. It'll be more of an epilogue than anything. But yeah, nothing super noteworthy here, but still a relatively good time, mostly for the performances from Farmiga and Wilson. And yeah, that's kind of where I'll leave it for my review of The Conjuring Last Rites. Please let me know what you thought down in the comments below, or you can kind of reach out to me over the socials. You can find me anywhere on social media at No Score or at No Score Reviews. Find me on Letterboxd. You could go read my review there, and you can kind of see where it ranks among my list for 2025 and in the Conjuring Universe overall. And if you want to check out more No Score review show content, particularly pertaining to the Conjuring Universe, I have a franchise in review that tackles the first 8 films in the universe. So from the first Conjuring all the way to The Devil Made Me Do It. And then I also have a separate review for The Nun 2, where I go into a little more deep dive with some guests and everything, some little spoiler territory for those films in the reviews. And then otherwise, you can go check out some of the other reviews I've done this year. I haven't done any, I think this actually is my first horror film review of the year. I've only been putting out a few videos this year so far. So might be able to get around to doing some more horror reviews later on. But if not, maybe I'll try and do what I did for 2024 and do kind of a year in review for the horror genre overall. I know there's definitely countless entries in the year that I could talk ad nauseum about, like Sinners and Bring Her Back. Those two are like right up top at the top of my list so far for the year. But yeah, go check out my other reviews on YouTube or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. And until the next review, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you then. Bye bye.